Hi everybody, welcome back to Crypto Mastery, the channel that helps you master your crypto portfolio. So today what I'm going to be doing is taking a look into a Cardano Metaverse that's quite early on in its development phases, but it's really, it feels like a sandbox type metaverse, but in the Cardano kind of blockchain ecosystem, which is like super exciting to me. I'm very bullish on Cardano and ADA. I love to see kind of new projects come out. I think it's a great ecosystem with great kind of ethics and utility. And I think that this project has huge potential moving forward. I think if they can stick to their timeline, they could start to, look at some other key aspects moving forward. I think this has got big potential to make huge gains in 2022 as we've seen the metaverse expand. So as I said on previous videos, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research as well off the back of watching these videos and decide where you want to invest, right? Where you can take your money in investments and where you believe you're going to be able to make that gain and the projects you believe in. Before we take a look at this, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification because there's going to be more of these videos coming out in the future. But let's take a look at the Cardano Metaverse Pavia. So let's start off by taking a look at the Pavia website itself. So the website itself, as I said, I always use these as one of those indicators. I would say the website feels like it's probably in its early phases of development. Doesn't like super wow me as a website drawing my attention and focus, but it has got some kind of cool features and some things I would expect from an early phase project like this. So, Pavia, they're describing it as create, explore, and trade in the first ever Cardano virtual world owned by its users. They then go in to explain a little bit around kind of, the history of Cardano, where the name come from, the blockchain, and kind of the release of Pavia, or the start of Pavia development in 2021. Then they go into the Pavia Metaverse itself. So they're saying we are expanding the Metaverse. It's important to explain that this Metaverse project is in its infancy. These are the very early stages of development. This digital world will only succeed with the love and support of the Cardano community. So that's really important, right? Because this project is very early in its development phases. I really wouldn't be expecting to see anything in terms of interactive kind of beta developments or anything like that or even alpha stage development until pretty much probably the end of 2022 at its earliest phase. So I am bringing you this very early on in its development. And obviously, think about that as well, right? It poses a level of risk. The earlier on in development, the riskier it is in terms of the project could succeed or might not succeed. Obviously, if it does succeed, then the greater the risk, the greater the reward, because you're getting in super early. You could get in on some of these land sales. You could, have some of this land at a very cheap price that could then basically explode if this takes off in 2022. And we'll take a quick look at Sandbox, right? And like where Sandbox sat for a while, how that was kind of steadily kind of plateaued for a while and then just spiked as they started to get new investments, as the platform started to release new features and Metaverse became a big topic. So yeah, I like the fact that they're really bringing this. They're amplifying the fact that this is very early in its stages. They're being open and honest about that. They're saying there are now almost 7,000 landowners on Pavia. Each land is a uniquely numbered Cardano NFT based on coordinates within Pavia. So just like you see on Sandbox, it's the same concept here, right? So you have land in various parcels, so 1 by 1. Then you have bigger estates, which is probably a 2 by 2, and then you have the larger estates, which is a 3 by 3 kind of matrix. And then obviously you could even go as far as to have like estates attached to each other in the same realm, to have bigger estates if you really wanted to. So basically, yeah, they're sharing that information. Then we say we are working hard to deliver the in-game Pavia experience. Please join the Discord channels and submit your ideas for improvements. So like anything to do with Cardano, like Cardano ADA is a big community blockchain, right? It's built and founded on a strong utility, but a really strong community backing. And they want to take that concept into Pavia as well, right? To make sure that they're clear that it will only succeed if the community believe in it, if the community engage with it, if the community are willing to support this project in being successful moving forward. So that is a critical aspect of it. And you know that social engagement, that social sentiment really drives the success of pretty much most kind of cryptos that we see, right? Without that sentiment, without that engagement, their success is limited because they actually, you know, they need the community to believe in it. They need the community to believe in the utility and drive it forward. You could even look at something like, you know, the meme coins. They like a lot of the meme coins don't really have a strong utility, right? They don't offer anything, but the social sentiment behind them is huge, which has driven some crazy prices if you look at things like Doge and Shiba Inu. So it's, you know, social sentiment is a big driver, and social engagement for platforms like this are really important. They're then sharing a little bit around the land sales that have recently gone on, so land and token sales. So land sale 1 was 29,000 parcels, which is sold out, and land sale 2 was 31,000 parcels, which also sold out. They're also saying that, you know, due to regulatory uncertainty, buyers from the USA and UK were excluded from these land sales. So, I mean, it's really unfortunate in the crypto space that, you know, governments like the UK government and the US government really have no idea how to support their people on being like good investors to make money for themselves and to succeed. They basically care more about them succeeding as a government and wanting to, like, you know, take money than help you make money, right? So it's a real shame that they enforce regulations that stop us from being savvy investors and stop us from doing things. There are always ways around stuff, and you know you can still get land, and you can still get involved. You just got to be clever about how you do it. One suggestion is, you know, if you've got family members who maybe live in a different country, who maybe, you know, would want to invest in something on your behalf, maybe that's a way to do it, right? And then you could transfer ownership over. So yeah, they're basically sharing this. They're then sharing the fact that their next sales will come up in probably like maybe Q1, Q2 2022. And basically that will complete the map to 100,000 land parcels will take place in 2022. And then they're just sharing the land policy ID address and the Pavia policy ID address. Finally, as we get further down on their website, we can see that they're sharing a little bit around the roadmap and where they've come from. So really being founded in September 2021. Then in October, they were starting to, you know, get their website up. V1 of the map, community tools. October, again, Discord community, parcel size revealed. November, secondary land sale pulled forward due to significant community demand and native airdrop. And then in December, right, so where we are now, so public announcements and so on. Excuse me. So what I'd say is, like, it's quite impressive to see, like, from something that was initiated in September to where they are now, they've basically incorporated themselves in September. And, you know, September, October, November, December, within like a quarter, say, they've managed to do 2 land sales, which seems like very fast, right? Very quick. There's obviously a lot of community drive behind that. The community wanting to get involved, wanting to kind of buy land and get involved in land sales, which is great. As we look ahead, you know, Q1, they're saying liquidity addition to Cardano dexes and exploration of cross-chain liquidity. Again, working parties from Pavia.com community for on-platform assets, gamification, and more. In Q2, collation of all feedback to date and build commencements for the in-game Pavia experience look and feel. Q2 again, focus on interoperability and cross-chain and cross-metaverse. Q3, they're going to look at the first live event hosted in the Pavia Plaza itself. And then Q3, Q4, Pavia portal testing commences. So as I said, you're not really going to expect to see maybe any interactive testing where if you're an early investor, you can get into the actual metaverse itself and start to engage until probably the end of 2022. So this is a super early investment. As I said, early investments pose risk, but also provide opportunities for great reward as well. So it really depends on your portfolio and whether you want to introduce this into that portfolio with the level of risk. They've got a short video on YouTube as well. So this basically gives you it almost feels like a bit of a marketing video. So obviously they've got a few people walking down the street. And basically this video shows an experience of being involved with Pavia. So, you're on your way home, you get home, you put on your VR headset, and then you're in the Pavia world. I would say that one key aspect it feels like they're really trying to amp up and drive here is the ability that when you're in Pavia, you're connected to the Pavia world, but also you're connected to the real world experiences as well. So they've got a few things there where they enter a shop, looking to buy something, and there's the option to buy it within Pavia or buy it in the real world, which suggests that obviously they're really looking at having connections and additions into other marketplaces external to Pavia. There's also an example where they're looking to purchase coffee and buy coffee in the real world but through Pavia, which then arrives at their door. So again, you're going to need that bridge between the Pavia metaverse and real world purchase mechanisms from other marketplaces and other commercial entities, which is fairly cool. So I won't go through this. Obviously, the link will be in the description for you to watch yourself. This is a quick look at their map. So obviously, you can see already there's a bunch of various land sale purchases that have happened. You can see people have put their logos and their NFT art over the lands that they've purchased. Obviously, as I said, so the 3x3, so these squares really are the estates. So you can see where people have been purchasing estates. If you go over to their Twitter, they've not got a huge following on Twitter right now. I think it's very early doors from a Twitter perspective, so we need to go back up and quickly check. I think they're around 35,000 followers. So this is a project in its infancy. It is a project that I do think does have huge potential. If they can start to build something in the Cardano ecosystem that is like Sandbox and offers that same experience and can get people involved from an ADA Cardano community perspective, it's got a huge potential, right? If they can deliver on the real world connection with the Pavia connection and the VR experience, that's huge, right? To be able to be in a VR experience but connect and do things in the real world as well and other merchants, that would be a huge thing to see. And then, so how do you actually buy Pavia, right? Because it's not something you're going to be able to go to Coinbase for. It's not something you're going to be able to go to probably one of the other big marketplaces to get, like Binance and so on. You're not going to be able to really see it on the mainstream places where you would typically buy in some of the crypto that you buy. But where you can get it is something called Muesliswap. So if you've used things like PancakeSwap and SushiSwap and stuff like that in the past, the PancakeSwap is basically the Binance swap dex, right? So basically PancakeSwap is the Binance dex. This is Muesli is the this Muesli is the ADA Muesliswap, which is basically the ADA dex. And here we can actually trade Pavia, right? We can actually buy Pavia, and you can see they don't actually have any price charts at the moment for this. We can see some total supply that they've got up here. We can see the market cap currently based off, I guess, what's been interactive through this past platform. And then we can see the price, right? So the price at the moment is 0.05195 ADA for every one Pavia. From a bid perspective, and then from an ask perspective, 0.05 for every Pavia. So, it's basically the same. So what you do here is, you connect your wallets. You'd then obviously look to trade and purchase some of the Pavia tokens. Now, what's the advantage to having some of the Pavia tokens? Then, obviously, the advantage is land sales moving forward, right? Airdrops. All of these early projects reward people who get involved early, reward the community who believes in the project from early doors. And this is no different as a project, right? So basically, if you were able to get in the first 2 land sales for Pavia, about 25% of the token distribution will be distributed to those people who got on the land sales because they believed in the project early. So the earlier you get in on these projects, the better. So that's a huge advantage. So if you do want to buy in this, go to Muesliswap. I'll share the link down below so you can get straight to the right location, and you can obviously purchase some Pavia because it is a really cheap price, right? And if we were to quickly take a look at this against where, let's take a look at where Sandbox sat for a while. So if we look at the all-time kind of history for Sandbox, we can clearly see the Sandbox again being founded back in kind of 2020, and we can see the the first time we actually see this here is around the 15th of August kind of 2020, and then we can see it kind of stayed almost plateaued there, so 0.17 up to 1.2 rose a little bit, but it's really staying probably around about $0.73, so 73 cents for a long time. And then you hit the big spike here, right? So probably around the end of October, where we already start to see the big rise. We had the announcement from Facebook around the metaverse. We also, around that same time, there was a huge investment, I think around 93 or 100 million investment into Sandbox. You're always going to see a pump and a hype when you have certain levels of investment going into these metaverses and various projects. So we can see there that, Plateau for a while, started to release things, started to, get their testnet live, get people on the platform, new investment, and then boom, it just spikes and, exponentially rose. Bit of a correction there, then rise again, and then, we are where we are at the moment with the minor dip happening at the moment. But obviously, huge potential. I think that if they can hit their roadmap commitments and they can deliver on this stuff, this has got huge potential moving forward. Also, if you want to buy land right now, you can buy land as well, right? So, like any place, like when Sandbox do land sales and kind of land distribution, what happens is people buy it and then they sell it on secondary marketplaces. The typical one, for Sandbox would be something like OpenSea. But you can go on to a Cardano equivalent, which is CNFT, which basically is the Cardano NFT marketplace where you can buy NFTs. But basically, I've filtered by Pavia at the moment, so we've got a number of Pavia kind of parcels that are up for sale. It looks like these ones are actually on sale from an auction perspective at the moment. So you can actually come in here, place your bid, and then buy a piece of Pavia land, right? And if we look at it, some ending soon, 19 hours. This one here, and 100 ADA is the bid at the moment. I mean, 100 ADA is a very small investment, right? If we look at what it costs to get a piece of Sandbox land at the moment, I mean, you're probably talking minimum. It's got to be around, probably last time I looked, maybe £7,000. Maybe anywhere up to £10,000-15,000, depending on where the price sits and kind of where it's being sold. But it's very, very expensive at the moment. This could be your opportunity to get some land in something that could be huge moving forward early on. So I do think this has got huge potential, and this is one way you can kind of get in on the land at the moment. So my final thoughts on Pavia, I think this has got huge potential moving forward. I really like this project. I like that it's actually in its early phases of development. I love the fact that they want community to help drive this, and they want the community feedback and the information to add in new enhancements. I think that's a really key aspect of, you know, using your community to drive something that they want in the future. Always will drive kind of more future adoption. You know, with it being early stages, you've got an opportunity to get in on the land sales early. You've got an opportunity to, you know, get the Pavia token at a certain price. As soon as anything like this starts to get listed on more dexes and more exchanges, the more that drives the price moving forward. I also love the fact of what they've been able to achieve in a small amount of time. That's like a huge kind of indicator for me that they're passionate about the project, and they've got a strong team who is supporting it. If you look at the team on their website, they have got a strong team, a lot of solid experience. So this is a great project, I think, from an investment perspective. And also from a gaming perspective as well, right? I love the fact of having that connection between the real world and the gaming world at the same time, and being able to interact with both in one space. So I think that's fantastic. So definitely keep an eye on this. I'll be sharing kind of future videos around Pavia as new announcements come out, as new features come out, to share that with the community. You know, I'll definitely be investing myself. I'll be getting land within Pavia myself and supporting this from a community perspective, because I think it's got huge potential. So share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is a big project moving forward? Are you excited about seeing this? Do you want to get involved and kind of be a part of the Pavia community? And what do you think it kind of gives us from an investment perspective as well? So thanks for watching, and there'll be more videos like this in the future. But in the meantime, have a great day.